is we need to start assembly. And that would be group 1, the first 2 page. And I'm actually going to stop right here and recommend that we put all our cut pieces into piles. It's just going to make it that much faster. Having done the scrapbooking retreat that Stampin' Up! Offered summer of 2025, I know that for a fact that that is the best way. So let's go ahead, and I can already tell by looking at that is that. So this is our top. That's our page 1. And let's put our pictures that are our words are hard. Let's put our cut stuff. And that's what we probably should have been doing. I don't know. There's no right or wrong way, but as we were cutting this stuff, either marking it gently with a pencil, I know that's what we did on the retreat, because now it's just a jumbled mess. And now, yeah, it's okay. It is all okay. I'm good with this. But let's go ahead and make our piles for our pages. And so we need 1B. This is 1B, and I can't remember 1B and 1I. Okay. They use the light. So our light Pretty Peacock goes up. That goes here. And then we need that 1C. When did we cut 1C? And this is why we have these. 1C. Looks like it's that. 1C. Yep. Going back here to our grid paper, it is 4x12. So one of the 4x12s, and then the other 4x12, and the other Pretty Peacock, because it makes a banner. Okay, so let's go back over here. Yep. And we have 2 pages like that. Do we really? Yep, we do. Okay. And on the page 2 of this 2-page layout, they're putting that little piece in the lower right corner. So it'll go boom and boom. Boom, boom, boom. Because that makes sense, right? Do we have any more cutting pieces? No, it looks like it's all stickers. Or is it, let's look at 1G. Oh, 1G. Let's go back to our cut instructions. Was White Willow. No. 1G. Where is 1G? 3G, 2G. 1CB. I'm looking for cuts. G. 1G is 2 3/4. There. So that goes on. That's it for the one spread, and then the rest looks like it's stickers. And then let's go look over here. Let's make our piles. The 1, 2. Oh, we also need 1A. Blah. That's our secret C. Secret C is down here, and this is why we probably should have done that in a slightly different order, and that's okay. Using this as a teaching moment. So we got 2 of these secret C's. They want the dark moody side up. That's right, it's something 5x11 or something. So that goes with page 1 and page 2. And page 1, and then page 2 only has 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're good. So we're good on that, right? Page 1, page 2, we're going to stage this. We're going to put it somewhere over here. And then moving on to our next 2-pager, we have our really skinny strip. So we're using white willow as a base. Our 2C. Oh god, that's right. These really skinny little guys of the Secret C. Yep. So I'm going to go look at my chart. We'll look at 2C for the Secret C two-tone. And again, this is all part of educating. 2C is 1 1/4 and 2I is a 1/4. I assume that's on the other side then. 2I. Yep. So, well, here's page 2. Let's put out our 2 white willows. So the 1/4 one and then the skinnier one. So we've got those 2 going on. And then let's go back over here. And you can see how this comes together very fast. So we need a piece of that lovely, we need a wide one, the 12 by whatever. Let's see, what are they saying on their chart? So 2C, it's 2B. We'll verify. I'll go back to that paper. 2B, 8 by 12. That's this one. And it's going to go this way, I think. We'll take a look. I don't know which way it gets oriented. Possibly like that. And then flipping it over, and we'll grab our other sheet of this. That goes here. And then we need, go back over here. So we've got our white willow, we've got our 2C, we've got our 2B. We need a 2A, which is the light grid. That goes on page, it's actually page 3, but first page of this 2-page spread. And then 2E, which is I know we'll need that one, I saw that. But we'll come back to that explaining. And this is where we need our really, wow, okay. So 2E is our really tiny little 1/8 inch strip of the Secret C, cut down to 11 or something like that. And then the photo mats, which we'll worry about some other day. Okay, and coming over here, so we've got our white willow, we've got our 2I, which will go this way actually. We've got this. We've got this. We've got our photo things. We've got something here which I can't tell what it is because they've got it darkened out. Okay, looks like it's Secret C. Can't possibly have any Secret C left, do we? Or is it? Oh my gosh. Okay, adhere 2G, that's this piece. 2H, which is this piece. 2I, where's 2I? Oh, that's this. And 2J. Okay, that's our paper. Then the rest of this is pre-cuts and stuff. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, so moving this aside, moving this aside. So that's page 3 or first page of that's 2A, 2B, or page 3 and 4. And then let's bring in these. secret C with the border, and I assume the stripies go sideways. I really can't tell by their picture. I want to get a different look. Maybe it doesn't matter. Right now we're going to call them horizontal. So page 3 or page 5 and 6 or page 3A, 3B. Oh, wow. Okay. And I can't tell which orientation, and that's okay. So we need our secret C grid piece. So we're gonna, for this page, page 3A, also called page 5, we need to assemble our adhere 3A and 3B. 3A, yep, it goes exactly like, see the white, and 3B is our pool party. Again, that's why when we were cutting, we probably should have used a pencil. I will redo another video. 3B. Okay, it goes there. 3A and 3B. And then the rest of that we'll come back to. Another one of our secret C, and we need to adhere again this based on that white distressed area goes there, and then another one of our pool party strips. Okay, and that's it for those. And that is creating our base pages. And the rest of these are photo mats and so on, and extra paper. And again, probably these are photo mats I saw. And again, that was something that they did go into the scrapbooking retreat, and I'm very glad, because now that helps me understand their instructions. So yeah, our pre-cut pages have some photo mats and stuff. Okay, how's that going? So we'll be back to do, we're gonna we don't need the rest of this at the moment, so we'll put it aside. Actually, so it doesn't get knocked around, I'm gonna stick it right in my zippy. Zippy bippy. Again, this actually I think goes together remarkably fast. So we need our pages 1A and 1B, as I'm calling them, or pages 1 and 2. Put that aside. And this is page 1. This is page 2. We know that because that little funky piece is up in the left corner, page 1, and it's in the lower corner of page 2, or 1A, 1B. And they don't necessarily say where we're going to put this, and that's okay. So we want to adhere our photos. I'm not ready for that. We need to cut a mountain border sticker into 2 pieces. Okay, that's preparing our photos. We'll come back to that. Assembly. So it's crumb cake paper. I mean, this paper is gorgeous. I'd love to see it again. And when we need to adhere, (1A, B, and C). So this is our B and C, and this is our A. We need to, and that's our A actually. We need to adhere 1A first. Put that aside. We know that's coming up. And we want the dark side down. And I know this tape is super sticky and it's not forgiving. And it also might be good to do this on a grid sheet. I'm going to do a little bad. Don't yell at me, it's my own page. I'm going to mark this, that's gently in half, because it looks like this secret C piece is centered. Just a guideline. Okay, so that's 1A down. We need to attach 1B to 1C. Like that. And we'll center it. So there's like a 1/4 inch border on either side. Okay, and I don't know, now we need to attach this. Wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Oh, heavens to Betsy. That's why you should actually go slower and pay attention. I put the adhesive on the wrong side. Look at that. And you know what's even funnier? The paper that they have in the kit is not the paper that came. That is very interesting. That's okay. I'm going to still tape this up. It's slightly different. Actually, I think their picture is wrong. Their instructions so far have been copacetic with that. I'm going to be very careful. I made another boo-boo. It happens. That's why I do these videos. And we'll just carefully set this one aside. I could have left it too. It's okay. I'm going to put this aside. We need to attach it. Again, I don't know which direction this goes. I think I like the lighter at the, no, I like the darker at the top. That makes a nice border. I'm going to put it over here so I don't get adhesive everywhere. We're going to put adhesive on the back. And I'd say that's about 2.5 inches down. Ooh, you know how we can measure? Yep, that's how we need to measure. Again, it doesn't say where, but project 1. This goes with project 1. We want to make sure that is down. So we'll just put that as a placeholder right now. You see how I came up with that? And as long as I have that out, I'm just going to go ahead and stick that down. Kind of doing it slightly out of order of how I wanted to teach this, but, and I'm going to put this one way aside for the moment because I have this sticky, which I suspect we'll be able to cover up. So, not to worry, page 2 or page 1B. Again, we want to make sure that little thing is in the lower right corner. We want to attach, want to make sure we put adhesive on this side. We want the light side. Sure as heck looks like it. Just double checking. According to our cut instructions. And we want to put this secret C piece down, moody that it is. And I'm going to do that same little trick just subtle, not truly creasing the paper, but it's a guideline for where the center is. And we want to put the adhesive on the light side of our two-tone Secret C. So we'll go 3 and 3 because I think this was 6 or something like that. All the way to the bottom. Put that down. And we're going to put adhesive on this. And again, this tape is so sticky, that little bit is good. I'm gonna put this up because here's what we're gonna do. We're going to pull in our other page because they want this to go all the way across. And I'm very glad that I chose to put that dark because look, it's gonna make a really nice border. And I think we have one more step I lost. Yep, on this one on page 1A, page 1, we need to put down our 1G piece, which is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And that's gonna go up here, all the way up. With about, we'll call it a 1/2 inch overlap onto our Secret C. Like that. They actually have a measurement 1 1/4. That's about 1 1/4 by 1 7/8. It's actually pretty good. So that, yes, we do have some measurements. I missed that. Ooh, you guys, I am so sorry. They actually do have that, and that's okay. I'm good. I will bring in a ruler for the rest of it. Okay, page 1 and 2. Now I lost my stuff. Page 3 and 4, or page 2A and 2B. Depending on how you would like to easily Okay, we're working on page 2A and 2B, or if you want to call it 3 and 4 of our 6-page spread. So we've got the 1A, 1B, or 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B, C, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm referring to them both ways to make it easier. So, 2A, actually, I'm sorry. We need to flip our instructions. So we have the left page, that is this one. We're gonna put our other two way off because they're sticky on the one because Sunday made a boo-boo. So we want to, I'm gonna actually bring in some grid paper. Dirty grid paper, sorry, rather than a ruler. I don't know if I have a ruler in my purview, but this, it works. So we're working on the left page of the second grouping, and a grid paper works great too. It's just not 12 inches, and that's okay because we're just trying to line up. So we want to, it gives us a measurement of adhere 2A, 2B, 2C with an asterisk. Where's 2C? Where is 2C is our skinny strip. Okay. And 2D and 2E. 2E being the really skinny one. Okay. So they don't have the measurement of how far we go down. 2C, just a wild guess. It looks, Okay, that is slightly different way. I don't need this. Okay, I see how they're doing it. Okay, this is why we do these things. So what we're going to want to do is put down 2A first. And there is a reason for that because this is our 2A. And that goes down there. That's why we don't need a measurement for this. Okay, that actually makes a cheapen a lot of cents. Again, that's why I do these, so you can learn from me and have a successful experience. And this piece, it looks like the dark goes on the top, kind of by their pictogram. We're going to put the adhesive on this side, on this paper this time, and the grid goes up. So I want the moody dark toward the top. Like that. That's why we don't need to measure, because we're building from the bottom up. I can see that. It doesn't say that, but I get it. And then we want to attach that. And I would say you could either attach it right over the paper, or I'm going to butt it up to the paper. Like that. Okay. So at 2A, 2B, 2C, and 2E. We've got another piece in here missing. Our 2D. Good to know. Again, that's why we do this. That is exactly why we do this. I'm going to guess it's this one. Yep, that looks exactly like it. I did not catch that when I was sorting, and that's okay. We want our script up, and then we have this narrow, the really narrow border. So they're saying that this one, by their instructions, no, their picture. Okay, the paper. They do give us 3.5 down from the top. So you could take a pencil, or you could just go like this, and 3.5 will be there, and it gets centered. I mean, if you're off the 1/8 of an inch, it's still going to be good. Okay, make sure our script's the right way up. I'm going to bump this all the way over in the corner because the grid works just fine for me. And we're there. I want to make sure it's centered. Like that. Because I know I cut my paper square, I can just, there we go. And then we have the moody dark secret C that goes right underneath. Okay. I'm going to do that off my project. And because I can just go like this. Then, or I could have put it on my grid paper, but I don't want it to stick to that. And that goes underneath. And it looks like I've got a little bit of trimming to do, and that's okay. Either I cut wrong or their instructions were slightly off, or I was just slightly off, and that's okay. I'm good. So keep a scissor handy just in case. Okay, so that is the base of page 2A or page 3, depending on how you look at it. Let's bring in 2B. And we are building our page the same way. We are going to take and put our grid along the bottom, and it looks like they have the darker stuff over in the right side, which kind of makes a frame. I may have done the other one the wrong direction, and that's fine. There is no right or wrong, really. Okay, I'm going to put that at the bottom. Okay, then we are going to put this all the way over to the left, it looks like. And okay, with the grid side up, so we're putting tape on the other side. There, just needed a little advance. And based on their picture, it looks like the dark moody corner should go in the upper left. So we're going to smooch that all the way up and then all the way to the left like that. Okay. So like I said, here 2G we did, 2H we did, 2I, which we will, and 2J. So 2I, I don't want to do that. I'm going to do it on here because I can just roll that adhesive right out. Just like that. So 2I gets special treatment going all the way up here. Budding, 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 all the way over. And then 2J is our little scripty piece. So we're going to have to need a little measuring again. I'm going to rotate my page, put it back on camera a little bit, and we're going to put it in the corner here. Just think that would be easier. And it says that we need to go in a 1/2 inch. So in a 1/2 inch over, somewhere in there, and down 3.5 inches. Gal, almost nailed it. Right there. We could put a little pencil mark. As the corner. Okay. And we want the scripty, and we want to make sure that the scripty part is indeed the right way up. Like that. Okay, we'll keep this out just in case. So we did 2J, so that's, and then the rest is a different part. So 4 base pages are done. Let's flip our instructions. Bring over our last 2 piles. And let's take a look. We're going to adhere 3A and 3B. Okay, that looks pretty simple. 3A just looks like it goes inside of our, we already determined that it goes with that sketchy stuff on top. I'm going to keep my orientation going landscape. And it's going to get centered in the middle of that beautiful frame. Brilliant and beautiful paper. So I'm going to tape up this side, and I don't want to. I don't want to. It's so pretty. Okay. We want the sketchy side up. We want to center that. Press it down. Okay, so that's 3A or page 5. And then the next one, it looks like it goes up this pool party, and I can't remember. Let's go back to our cutting instructions. I can't remember which side goes up. Dark, dark, dark goes up. Okay, kind of looks like that. But how I determined, that's another teaching moment. I went back to my cutting instructions for pool party, and they had the dark. So our dark is up. That's the dark, light, dark. Okay. And I'm going to take and move my other set of pages away for now. And bring in my grid paper because it looks like I'll just go over here. Again, grid paper, ruler, whatever is your jam. Or jelly. And we want it, so that needs to be up 5/8. Nailed it! 5/8 right there. Nailed it without measuring. And then 1 1/4 up for our pool party. Let's get some adhesive on there. Actually, I want to eyeball it first. 1 1/4, our target. It's right there. So it's just like a 1/16 of an inch above that grid line in case of this cutting instruction, or the way I cut my paper. Okay, I moved that. No harm. 1 1/4. It goes all the way across. Like that. Score. And then let's go over to, it's the same thing. It's the exact same. The base pages for these 3A and 3B, or 4 and 5, 5 and 6, however it's easiest for you to remember. Okay, and we want the sketchy stuff, the distressed piece up. We go in 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch about all the way around. Gets us to about the 5/8 inch mark. I'm not even going to measure that. I figure visually it's probably a little easier. We're going to bring this down. Actually, let's get some light, dark. We want adhesive on the light side because the dark faces up. And I'm going to do this a different way than measure. We're going to make sure our pages match in case I was off. So butt those up. Just like that. Isn't that beautiful? So let's take a look. Let's bring all our pages back in. So page 1A or page 1, 2. One or 2A, 2B, or pages 3 and 4. This is where you should be at. Page 5 and page 6, which are identical. Okay, and I added that on because I use that as a measuring, even though I think they might have had something. I hope this is helpful on how to break down these very easy scrapbook. You know, the other thing for the kits, thinking about it, you don't have to put them together for scrapbooks. You could absolutely turn them into cards or other projects, gift wrap, whatever. Absolutely. But why don't we go ahead and give ourselves a little break, because that was a lot of work. Stay tuned for part 2 as we build our pages. Hello, this is Sandy with Needs a Ribbon, and we are here back for part 2 of using one of the scrapbooking workshop kits from Stampin' Up. And on part 2, don't worry about that. That's just part 1 covered my boo-boo there. Part 2, we don't need our pictures. We don't need some of this stuff yet. Part 2 is where we are going to, so part 1, we built our pages. We built the base pages. Page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or what, you know what I mean. Built the base pages. So for part 2, we're going to start to jazz them up or decorate them, as it were. using the instructions of the kit. So I put on my spare parts. These are my base pages plus whatever full sheets of cardstock paper that we have left. And this, I put some of it in here too, just so these little photo mats that we get for all the recommended photos don't go sliding all over my work surface. That's just a recommendation. Keep your stuff nice and tight and nice and tidy. So let's just do a short review. So instruction 1, you do your cutting per the diagram, and I gave some great tips on that in the first video. And I wish, and maybe I will, break that down into its own separate video. That really kind of should. I can kind of see this as a 4-part thing. 1, the cutting. 2, build the base page. 3, add in all the fun details. And then 4, add your photos. And 3 and 4 kind of merge and kind of don't, depending on how you build your pages. But we're essentially here for part 3. I am too far ahead. But yeah, so we've got a little glue dot something on our something sticking, that's why. So, and remember, this is a 2-page 3-part layout. It's 6 pages. 2-page 3 words are hard. I'm telling you, words are really hard. I'm kidding. That's what the new year brings. Anyway, so we're gonna go back. So we built our base pages. Let's bring these in, and I'm gonna put the other stuff aside for the minute. And this is where I had a boo-boo. I put the wrong side of paper up, and I'm leaving the adhesive. I could probably rub it off, but I figure part of it is going to get covered up as we, so this is the base pages, the base 2-pager for the layout 1 and 2, or 1A, 1B, or page 1, 2, depending on how you look at it. I've referred to it always because it just depends on how your mind works, whether you look at it as 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3C, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It just is just, everybody's mind works a little different, and I'm trying to cover all the bases. So we built our base page. So on this, they're large, they're very similar. Okay, so let's take a look here. We got something under my fingernail. Adhesive, go figure. We did number 1, and I meant to sharpen my pencil. We did that. Prepared 1D. Add prepared 1D, E, and F using dimensionals. Okay, so we are at step 3 of our assembly. And there's also there's some stuff up here we've done our, we have not done that. Let's go back up here. Again, each kit's gonna have a slightly different, but there is just kind of a general rule of thumb when it comes to how these kits work. And I'm just gonna do a quick camera check. Yep. Hopefully I'm back in frame. Sometimes I get nervous when I start doing stuff that it's not recording, and then what am I gonna have to do? Buy a whole kit and do it over? I don't know. Anyway, so adhere, photos, mounts, 1E, 1D, 1E, 1F, 1K, and 1L for both pages. D, E, F, K, and L. Okay, D, E, F. Okay, so let's go get our little baggie of photo stuff, photo mounts. And these come on, actually, some people use them as mats too. And what are aren't they labeled? I thought that they were all labeled. Oh, wait a minute. Those are the photos. Okay. And again, this is why I do this, because it helps to have an expert looking at this. Ha ha ha. So what we are looking at is we're going back over, those are just my other pages. We're going back over to, that's our backing. We don't need that floating around. It's the whole project backing. So we need to go back over to here and look for project one. Okay, so we're going to be using some of these fun stuff and the sticker sheet. So where is, and this is again why I do this. I did the scrapbooking retreats the summer of 2025, which was great at explaining how this all works. So, and again, I'm kind of hesitating at the moment because I'm like, okay, where is adhere photos to 1D1. Okay, I'm missing something here. Okay, it's not in there. And this is, again, why we do this. This is mostly extra paper. It is extra paper. Excuse me. These are all our photo mounts. Those look like they're going to be 3x3 photos, but excuse me, I am so sorry. Let me take a sip. Again, a little slow right here because I am trying to figure out this stuff. I thought that's just cardstock. That's just extra, or oh, we cut them. Okay, I put my trimmer away. That's okay. It is a-okay. I bet you anything. Yep, that's what it is. They're the photo mats. I just, again, it wasn't very obvious, and I wished, and if I do another one of these, which I'm tempted to now, to teach you is, here it is. Here's our white willow cardstock. This is what we're looking at. We're looking at I wished we had, and this is what I would advise, is as you're cutting this, especially on the white when it's not real obvious what it is, take a little pencil and write on there. Wish I had a more sharpened pencil, but it works. Okay, so we need a bunch of 3x3 cut. That is not, where does this one go? That's just miscut. I bet you anything. So we should have 6, so we should have a billion of these 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. That one I think is just, yep, it's just, it got miscut, and that happens. So I am confident in that. If not, I have some white willow cardstock. Yep, it looks like I just missed it because there is no way that anything would be 3 1/4 by 3 1/2. Not that I'm seeing it all. So yeah, what we're dealing with here as we start to build our pages is our white willow pieces. That's a mess. Again, that I would like to do another one of these videos, and again, because once you get the basics down, it's easy. It doesn't matter what the kit is. Same basic instructions, kind of. Photo mats don't need right now. We could apply them. We're gonna save that for another video, adding the photo mats or the photos. So we need, this is what I was looking for. Okay, so we need 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 of the three, they're the mats for the actual photos. Okay, so we have those, and then 2 3x3s on the other side. So that's that, and then So we need to adhere them, and it gives some instructions down here. We need to go in 7/8, and again, have a ruler. I have the most annoying pencil ever. You know what? Hold. I'm back. I brought a ruler and this is a Stampin' Up! Branded one that is never been used and is very, very old. Golly, yeah. Greenhouse Gala ruler. Item 122240. Yeah, that's old. Never used. The ruler's fine. The packaging is. Yeah, you can tell that's cold. That's like green galore, I think that is. Something like that. And chocolate chip colors, which have long since been retired. It's either green galore or one of the old bright greens. I don't remember. Isn't this exciting watching me open up something that's 100 years old? Yeah, it's probably from about 2008, 2011, somewhere in there. It's old. Anyway, so it's nice and fresh and I sharpen my pencil a little bit. Anyway, moving on. So we need to put 3 photo mats. And again, this is why I wasn't too worried about my adhesive there. I have this too. It's old also. It was brand new when I opened it a week ago. It still kind of works, but because it is rubber, it does dry out. It does work. You can also use your fingers and kind of peel that up. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We're going to take a ruler, and they want us to, according to the instructions, we go in 7/8 of an inch. And I don't see where quite we're butting up. Using dimensionals. I'm not going to use dimensionals, so we can add these using dimensionals. I don't want the height on my book. This is at the point where you can start using dimensionals to give your project some lift, some height. Visual interest is really what it's doing. Here's my dimensionals. But I want to keep it flat because I found that you do too many pages with dimensionals in a book, and next thing you know, you can only fit like 15 pages in a scrapbook instead of 60 or whatever. Yeah. So I personally limit my dimensionals because of that, unless it is for something very special. 1G. 1G was, I have to actually go back to my cutting instructions. 1G is the 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 piece. Okay. Yep. Should have labeled. So it's going to be one of these smaller squares. There's more of the 3x3. Yep. That is the tip. That is not it. Some of this is just extra. Not, I'll just cut another one. I know it's in here because I remember cutting it. Yeah, see, here's our scrap. Sorry about this, but again, you're probably doing the same because I did not have you pencil mark some of this stuff. And I wished I would have. Again, teaching moments. Teachable moments. Where's my ruler? That is not it. So we need a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 square. I remember cutting it. Remember dearly cutting it. Oh, it's already on my page. Okay. Okay now. Yep, again. These are all Lesson learned for me on teaching you. Again, if you get a chance, if this is stuff you like, take one of the Stampin' Up events. You'll learn so much about how they put their kits together, how they teach their stuffs. So there's my 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. It's already adhered. We're good. Okay, so let's cross that off. Adhere 1G. We've done that. And adhere the green banner. Pre-cut pieces below the photos. Okay. Okay, so there's our little measurement. It's very hard to see. We go 3/8 of an inch below. So we drop down 3/8 here. And that's where we're going to put our 3. So we go in 7/8. I mean, you could just eyeball it too. But for the sake of teaching, I'm going to walk you through. And 3/8, which is in between the 1/2 and the 1/4. Okay. And that's where our first one goes, and then the rest go, and they're 1/4 of an inch apart. So for this, we just need to take the cap off of our, and again, reminder from part 1, this fast fuse, or Stampin' Seal, sorry, it's no longer fast fuse, is pretty darn sticky. So we go down and we go over. I can't see there's my pencil mark. So something like that. Ooh, that looks darn good. And I'm going to erase my pencil mark. And we'll get that tidied up in no time. So then we need to go over 1/4 of an inch. I'm just going to eyeball it because 1/4 inch is 1/4 inch. Get that on. I really didn't need that much tape. Good Lord. Make sure we're in a straight line. Again, this would be also a good time to use your ruler to make sure everything goes along swimmingly like that. Again, I've been doing this a long time, so I don't mind the eyeball method. And again, I'll go over 1/4 of an inch. See, I actually measured it that time, and that is that part. So we've done step 3, step 4. Step 5, adhere the green garden banner pre-cut pieces below. I've already lost my photo mats. Did you guys notice that? Yep, it's true. I put them back in my little bag because I'm a silly like that. Oh, Sandra. Okay, so we need to bring in our pieces, and it says on the back, Project 1. So we need all of these between the two. Project 1. And they don't say A or B, they just say Project 1, Project 2, Project 3. So it's part of the 2-page spread. Project 1. We'll grab the other parts of Project 1 while we're here. And these are just printed paper. So they will have a different feel. And Project 1. So yes, maybe when I edit this video, all these videos, I will probably break this up into we're missing one. Project 1. Yep, we are. I am missing one. So you should have 5 of these little banner pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Is that it? Let's look at our other sheet. Shoot. That was me dropping all my little photo mats because that's why they should go back in their little bag. Gosh darn it. Okay, so we've got more project 1. And again, I think what we're going to do is, again, we're going to, we're ready to start putting these. We're going to pull all our project 1 pieces. I think we're going to do the sort. Yep, that's what we're going to do before we start any more adhering. These I'll go with, as they call it, project 1, so pages 1A, B. Let's, again, I'm learning how to teach you. Let's say grab your pages 2A and B, or as they call it, project 2, which is these 2, and we're going to pull all our pre-printed pieces. Let's just go ahead and do that if they're labeled, and that's one thing. And then again, when we're doing our cutting, we probably should have labeled. That is one piece of advice. So, yeah. Just pull. It's just going to make it faster to just bulk pull. Also less stuff, well, more stuff to sit around, kind of. Project 2. Ooh. Project 2, we have little holes to punch out. We'll do that when we do page 2A and B. Okay? So yeah, sort your pre-punched pieces. Ooh, that looks like a title. You have to look at it in the back. I love that they do this. Yep. Oh, that's beautiful. So that's it. And we've got some more over here. Project 2, this big pre-printed piece, and the rest is for project 3. So again, what I'm going to do is take all of this and sandwich it between the 2 pages of the 2A, 2B. We'll bring over our 3A, 3B, which I believe are the same. We'll sandwich it in between there. It's, again, it's just going to make it easier. Then we're not going back and forth between all these little printouts. So catch up with me. And I will work on kind of doing a, throwing that away. I don't want to save it for masking, which I've done in the past because I generally don't go back to it. And I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. Ooh, one of our leaves didn't get... That's from 2. One of our leaves lost its stem and I didn't see it. That was from 2. Okay. So you do need to be a little bit careful tearing these out. Yeah. They are a thinner weight paper. They feel like they're like 32 pound weight. I don't know what they are, but 40 pound maybe. They are a lighter weight printed paper. Again, you don't want to, I mean, you don't always need 80 pound cardstock on your projects. Let's make sure we got them out. Okay. Because your pages will get really heavy and really fat really fast. Okay. We are done with that. I will try and write up a synopsis on how to put these kits together and put it at the end of the video when I do all my gobbledygook. Okay, so Here, adhere the green banner pieces below the pre-cut. Okay, so we're back to that. Sorry, it's kind of all over the place. This is new for me teaching. Project 1, project 2. I know those go there. I know that goes there. Looks like these pretty little okay, we need one of these. We need 1, 2, 3. Okay, so for page 1A, we will need, of the punch outs, besides what we've already adhered, we will need one with the line, the outline, and then 2, I don't think it really matters. They do slightly vary. I wouldn't worry about it. And then that piece. So these are the additional pieces we will need, and then the rest go to stickers, okay? So let's go ahead and get started and get that adhered. So we butt them right up to our, and again, I had a feeling that not a lot of adhesive would end up being super visible and end up getting largely used. There's a little bit of goober right there. And if you gently roll your hands, you can generally peel it right up. And we're just putting them right underneath the photo mats. It's a really beautiful page. And then we'll add this one as a layer. And it centers. Okay. You don't press it down. Okay, like that. So that is it for this at the moment. We will push this aside and we'll do, and so where are we? At here, we'll come back and add in the sticker stuff. I think that's my recommendation is, I feel pretty strongly about that, is I prefer to work in groups or bulk processing, as it were. Okay, so now we have to bring our ruler back in to figure out our measurements for this. It looks like first photo mat goes in 7/8 of an inch again. Okay, and probably down 3/8 of an inch. I had a feeling. So put a little mark there. So that's the corner. Let's go ahead and attach that. So that's another one of these photo mats. Okay, there we go. Get it started. Make sure it's square. A little bit crooked. A little bit of time there. Yep. Okay, and then we go over 1/4 of an inch. So I'm gonna, that was just easier right there. We're gonna take our ruler. We're gonna go over about 1/4 of an inch and put some more adhesive down. Ooh, I was going more than 1/4 of an inch. That's funny. Okay, that's fine. It's all good. And then another 1/4. Okay, so we keep it going with this 1/4 of an inch idea. And the next thing, we've got our photo mats laid down, is this piece, our journaling piece. And that will go, same idea. and over about 1/4 of an inch. Line it up to the top. That goes down. And let's take a look. I know I did not, how did I do? Yeah, I didn't put this over far enough, and that's okay. I centered it because I didn't quite understand the written instructions. And again, we will do this again and with some better tips. Crumb cake on your base page, adhere 1K, 1L we did, and 1J. Where is the 1J? Oh, we got that. That was this piece, okay? Adhere garden green banner pre-cut piece. Okay. So we're back to these guys. So for this page, we should have this. Looks like a bunch of these little stripy things. And some mountains. Okay, that's our pre-cut, and we'll do the stickers after. So we want to, looks like we layer this on. Centering it over. And then that one goes underneath this photo. And it looks like we'll have a sticker we'll add. Okay. Again, this isn't really hard. You just have to kind of understand how, so they don't have like super long written out, you know, do this next, do this next. It's more of generic, and I get it. Part of it is because we're an international company, and that would be a lot. And plus it would add about, you know, 50 pages of printed instructions. And that's okay. We're all good sleuths. Okay, so we added the green step 4. Step 5, added the journaling pre-cut piece. We added that. Is that step 5? Step 6. Add shorter balmy blue pre-cut piece over pre-cut journaling. Okay. That would be, these are the balmy blue. Okay, so we're going to add that over the bottom. Why did they cut it like that then? That's silly. That's just silly. Okay, fine. Decisions were made. Had nothing to do with it. So we want to add that. Leaving a little border, looks like. Going to do that. So we add the border. Then adhere the prepared 6 3/4 mountain border sticker. Oh. Pre-cut piece. Then adhere the 6 3/4 mountain border. Okay, I guess we need to do a little sticker action. That's fine. Mountain border. It's right here. It's the top one of these long 12-inch stripes. So we need to cut it to 6 3/4. So okay, and I put my scissor away. So you will need a little bit of a scissor. I mean, you should, if you're a crafter anyway, have one handy. But just know if you're leaving the house to do this, you will need a scissor. Okay, we have trimmed that. That was a little bit scary. And we're going to adhere, okay, and then adhere the prepared mountain border sticker and prepared 5 1/8 inch argyle. Okay, so we need to cut the argyle one too. So where does this go? It goes right below. Okay, we go all the way to the edge. all the way to the edge. So my recommendation is line it up with your edge. Don't press it down until you're sure, and then press it down. With a little bit of play. I went a little bit over the, there we go. Okay, that's okay. I don't care about that being a little bit. And then we need the 5 and 5/8. So we need to measure out 5 and 5/8. Which is in between 5 1/2 and 5 3/4 if you are not in understanding of that. And I'm actually, because this is just a, hopefully we don't need that. Cut it that way. And it's saying that goes again. We take that and we line it all the way up with the far edge and kind of bump it up, and it should just lay down nicely. Pulled it a little bit. So it goes right up, no gaps. Okay, so we've done step 6 of assembly. Step 7, embellish with pre-cut pieces and stickers as shown. Okay, so in other words, this is where we can knock ourselves out. And it looks like we take and layer up these 2 mountain ranges, kind of whatever visual you like. I want it slightly there. I don't want it to, I want it slightly offset. That's how I want mine. And then we adhere that. Again, that's on your kind of visual choice here. No particular measurement either. And then we add the title, which is beautiful. Project 1, this must go on the other page. Okay. Something like that. Embellish with sticker pieces as shown. Why don't we just go ahead and do that? So we need to bring in the unstoppable. Unstoppable goes right below our little journaling thing. And if you do not want that, if you think you're going to journal all the way down, either place that lower, or you can use the, if you have the heat embossing kit and use the kind of like powdered thingy to unsticky that so you can work underneath it. We need to add the enjoy the ride. I'm going to just go ahead, and this is where you could come back after you're done journaling and add your stickers. And then we need to add in our compass, our pecan pie crumb cake compass goes over here. That we can go ahead and just lay that down. And then it looks like we have one more piece up here, which is this, which would be our date. They're recommending that for the date. So somewhere like that. And then we put our little date in there. Okay, that's page 2. Let's bring back page 1 because, yep, we do have some stuff. Okay, oops. Here is, we need to add, okay, so adhere the garden, you're going to adhere the Balmy Boo pre-cut piece over this. Okay, so little tip, because we haven't laid our photos down, I'm going to put just minimal tape, or you could add this stuff later after your photos. So this is where decisions start to be made on how soon you're going to complete this. I'm going to add just absolute minimal tape. And it's going to hold down fine. This tape is really strong. And it goes over the bottom of 1 and 2 like that. Because again, your photo will kind of come in there. And then we add so we got the balmy blue, and then add the 4 3/4 of the mountain border. Okay, is that what's left? Nope. So we need 4 3/4 here. Okay, so we're left with a little hunk. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm not even going to cut that down. We're just going to use the whole hunk. It seems silly. That seems really silly, people. Again, this is where you can start to customize your page a lot. Okay. Yeah, we would have just come. That seems silly. Okay, so now we've added and prepared 5 and so we need to add a little bit of the 5 3/8. Need to add 5 and 3 again. We're going to just use all of it. I'm not going to leave just a little hunk unless you want to leave it for another project. That's just beyond silly. Understand that mine may not exactly look like theirs then. How about that? How about I just do that? I left it off and I'll just trim this. There, decision's made. And then we add in some stickers. We're ready. Beautiful day with the beautiful mountains and the balmy blue. And that goes over here. Kind of like that. Drag it down a little bit. I'd center it over your point there. It's just my advice. No boundaries sticker in the Secret C. Comes in here. And actually it looks like they put on the no limits first. So no limits. Kind of coming down here. And no boundaries. Yep, and with 7 and then add 8 journaling. We're done. We are done with pages 1 and 2 entirely now. Okay, we're going to put those somewhere safer. Let's go to, so pages 1 and 2 or page 1A, 1B. And I have a little bit of adhesive I'll work on removing because of my boo-boo. So let's bring in our next set of pages with our pre-cut pieces. Okay, so we have, so for this, the left side, 2A, we need, we're going to have to punch out our little holes here, our little spiral notebook holes. You can save the little printed things. I'm not. If you want to do them for confetti or something. There we go. I'm just going to go ahead and garbage those, bin them right away. Okay, so we need, for 2A, we need the spiral bound piece. Do we have 2 of them? No. We'll need one of these leaves We'll need this, it looks like. And where is our everyday adventure? Probably. Where's our everyday adventure? That's very interesting. That's very interesting. It's this big one. Why am I not finding it? Sorry about that. Where is our everyday adventure? I remember punching that out. It's right here. Ta -ha -ha. That's so funny. So there we go. 1A. Okay, let's get started. I've delayed you long enough. Okay, so white willow cardstock as our base. We've done that. Adhere to A to B. To A, to B, to C and D, and to E. We've done those. That's those. We should probably chalk them off first. Here, prepared 4 and 5 base, arrow border sticker over to D. To D being this. Okay, we've coming along here. So we need to measure this at 4 and 5 ace. Let's go ahead and measure to 4 and 5 ace. And I better be ready to put that down right away. So, because it is a sticker. So, yep, when you start working with these, make sure you are ready to put them down. I lost my pencil mark. Whoa. 4, 5 ace. Wow, I can't. 4 and 5 ace. Right there. It's because I marked it in the print border. That's funny. Okay. We've got that trimmed. It goes on 2A. It goes starting. It doesn't say how high up. So we just plop it down with the arrows running this way. I'd say about an inch, something like that. Start at the edge, lay it down, make sure you're square. Okay. And then, so that's step 3. Step 4, adhere prepared to F using Stampin' Dimensionals. Again, 2F is one of these big ones. That was one we cut. Let's go back and look at our instructions to find out. Again, tips. Ooh. 2F is 4 1/4 by 7 1/4. Okay. That is helpful. Here they are. They're over here. Let's find out. It might be this one. Nope, that's 6 1/4. Yep, 7 1/4. Okay. Again, that tip from me to you. Sandy will be doing another kit and giving some better instructions unless you're just having fun crafting along. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to put our sticker sheet away off to the side. We're going to push this stuff out of the way because it looks like we've got some measuring to do before we lay this down. We need to go down 2 7/8. So 2 7/8 is right there. Actually, that works out well, right along that green line. And then we go over to 3 7/8. So just can go right there. Got that? Did you get that measurement done? Again, if you have the kit, you know we're all looking at the same thing. So we're going to put that right in there. And it works out that there's a nice line right there. Make sure it's square. Looks very square. Super. So that is, we're not going to put it down with dimensionals because I don't want that extra height or weight. Adhere journaling pre-cut piece to the left side. Okay, so that is this one. And that goes in 1/4. And it looks like it's just kind of largely centered. I'm going to go ahead and eyeball this. It goes in 1/4. And it goes right over your, so it looks like it's top to bottom kind of centered with a little bit of border and in 1/4. Mine is not, I mean, again, the micro measurements for cutting and all of that, it's all good. Like that. And we need to add the 3x4 photo to the right side. Okay, we're not going to put any photo mats down. And we can add that photo mat right there if we want. And they're recommending use dimensionals. Okay, that's lovely. Embellished with stickers and pre-cut pieces as shown. So we're kind of less, again, we have this piece, we have this piece, we have this piece, and we have some little, yep, okay. So let's do our paper ones first because those generally are the base. And I'm going to keep, my tape to the one side because I see it overlaps our little photo thing a little bit. And it goes up to here about, yep. Goes up to the Secret C little skinny tiny border and it overlaps just ever so slightly. So butt it, scooch it up. And then we need to lay our, ooh, this is the one that ripped. This is a great one to put here. Because the stem's gonna hide anyway, kind of. And it goes down like this in this space. Now we need to add some stickers. These, looks like they're using these. So we'll go with this one and then the darker one, it looks like. So we'll lay, they're kind of making a little pennant type thing, like an award. Lay them down, crisscross them, and then we do our everyday explore here. Where is that? Oh, Everyday Explorer here. That's this one. Oh, brilliant, because it isn't a sticker. We can be careful where we put our adhesive, and I'm going to put very little adhesive on here. I'm going to put some at the bottom only, and it can be tacked down later. Oops, don't ever do that. Because we've got photo and journaling we may need to stick in there. Do you see why I'm doing that? Okay, good. So that's that, and then our Everyday Adventure. And we've got one also for the little something which we can add now or later. I'm going to add that later because I don't know when I'm going to put that photo down, probably soon. And again, you could be fun and pop this title on with dimensionals. Don't sticky it up too much. Again, it's lightweight paper. It's not going to take much to hold it down, but you want to be able to sneak photos and stuff underneath, or any more memorabilia you have. So I'm happy like that. I'm using the grid paper guide as a guideline, and there is 2A done except for the one little piece, which, and then we've got something we can put up here, the little today was sticker. Again, I'm comfortable, I can go ahead and put that down now, but you may want to wait on your journaling on that. I'm going to put mine way at the top. Now I'm going to put mine all the way in the corner. That's not where they put theirs. They put theirs centered, but I'm just going with my gut on that. So now we need to go to the instructions for, we are all done except for photos. So to be, we have a little bit of work to do, and that's okay. White Willow is your base. Here are all our papers. So step 1, step 2, adhere the large Night of Navy pre-cut piece. Okay, and we're going to do some measurements. We're going to go up 1 inch from the bottom. Okay, so let's get our ruler. And over 1 3/8. Okay, so 1 inch from the bottom. And then in 1 3/8. Okay, that is the bottom corner of that Night of Navy piece, this pre-cut piece. And let's go ahead and get some adhesive going. And let's get our paper. So it's gonna go, and it's nice when you have this grid paper, you can kind of use as a guide. Make sure I'm using that as kind of a guide to make sure I'm equal, and then squeeze it down. I'm happy with that. Okay, so that's, I prepared 7/8 arrow border. Okay, so we need to cut this to 7 3/8, which is exactly what's left. How about that? And I just realized as I grabbed it, I don't know where it's going. Oh, it's easy. So I probably shouldn't have grabbed it. You should probably not, because it looks like it goes down 3.5. The bottom of it is down 3.5, so you're going to lay it above that and then over from, so yep, now I'm 3.5. So it's going to go above that line. Okay, fair enough. And our arrows continue that direction. and we go all the way over to the right. Press it down. There we go. So where are we on that? That's step 2 or step 3. Step 4, adhere prepared 2K, prepared 2L, and 2M using Stampin' Dimensionals. Those are photo mats. So we need 3 3x3 photo mats that we cut out of white willow. And we know that they are in here. Here's one. Again. They're in here. I remember cutting them all. If not, there we go. They were just sticking to all the photo placeholders. So we've got, okay, move our stickers aside. So we've got our 3 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 pieces. We want to add them using dimensionals. I'm not doing dimensionals. You can. So we want to start, so the top one is 7/8 down from the top. Okay. And it is in 1 7/8. That's going to be a little hard to see on that paper. Okay, and then the rest just drop down 1/4 inch below that. So there's our 7/8 and our 1 7/8 mark. Square that up, looks pretty centered. And then we'll just drop them down the next 2. And these are, and I mean, if you don't want to mat your photos, you can skip this. That is optional. I do like a matted photo on a scrapbook page. So about 1/4 inch, make sure they're all, again, you can bring your ruler in, make sure it's all nice and lined up like that. Did a pretty good job on eyeballing that 1/4 inch. So we are done with step 4. Step 5, prepare 2N using Stampin' Dimensionals. 2N, big photo mat. That was one we just had a hold of, or I did, and then I shoved it back in here. Yeah. I think that's that one, but I'm going to measure. And remember where we can check on that? Let's go back to our cutting instructions. 2N is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Let's make sure. Yep, that's this one. And that goes, oh, that overlaps our photos. Okay, good to know. So this is 2N, step 5. I'm only going to put, I'm going to make sure my adhesive stays way clear of there, and I need to measure now. So we need to go down 3 inches. And then over 1 1/8. Okay. So I don't like that because it covers up that. So somehow I had a measurement off, and that's okay. May have been just now. Fact. Anyway, we're good. Pretty sure this is one of my kids' grade school pencils. I don't know. But I want to leave this so we can put photos in and it overlaps. Okay? Here. And we're not using dimensionals. Embellish with pre-cut pieces. Okay, pre-cut and stickers. So now we can have some creative fun. So we've got one of these flowers or green things, whatever they are. Leaves. They're leaves. And generally, if your adhesive's peeking through, you can kind of peel it back. So, oh, we've got one of these. Okay. So we've got some layering going on. We've got two of these pre-cut pieces, and they kind of go a little bit like this. And then it kind of comes up underneath here. Okay. Thank goodness I have just enough room to squeeze that on. And then we need a sticker up here. And I'm going to adjust mine because I'm going to put mine in now, and I see that it would overlap a photo, and I could do the sticky method where you de-sticky it. You can also just rub that part on the back of your hand. Here, let me show you what I mean. It's this item from the heat embossing kit. If you have one, you can just run it over that end and adhere it later. That is not sticky at all now. And it has a nice smell too. And we're going to bring that over. I put this wrong. That's what I did. That's okay. Artist interpretation. That's where the screw up happened on all that. And that's okay. Then we need this little boober point marker, map marker. And again, you know what? We're not going to add that yet because that goes right over photos. And we have some of these. We have this we can add. Again, this is where it's a little more freeform. This piece is not measured. It just kind of comes in here, it looks like. Probably up to the photo. Yep, it looks like it just kind of comes over like that. So that little curved piece butts up. And then we've got some more leaf work. That comes down, kind of sneak that down. And then this one. Okay. And then we've got some other sticker work. goes. We've got this that kind of comes up here. And this one, which would overlap a photo. We're just going to leave it like that. I dropped something, so bear with me. And then the view from the top. I'm going to de-sticky most of this. And actually, I'm going to hold, please. Things to note. We need this sticker. That goes right below our photo. And kind of along here. And then I'm going to de-sticky this just a little around the edge so it doesn't overlap our photos. Just enough sticky in the middle. Or you could de-sticky the whole thing and just use adhesive where you want it. Things to note, view from the top. Yep, like that. And that one we'll add later. And that is it. And then add our journaling and photos. So that is page 2, or 2B. Okay. They're looking beautiful. And then bring in 3A and 3B. And our pre-cut pieces. And let's take a look at our instructions. Optional, use Stampin' Spritz or water lightly spritz. It's already too late for that, and I'm not interested. So we're distressing some, the, 3I. Where's 3I? Where's 3I? Oh, you know what? That's these. Okay. Oh. Okay. We could still do that. Let's do that. 3I and J. I and J. Oh, let's go back to our cutting instructions because I want to remember. A, which way? Pecan pie, so dark will face up on all this. 3I is the 4. And six and a half by 4.5. That's our 3I. And 3J. Was 4.5 by 3.5. Yep. Doesn't matter. We're not going to see it. So 3I, 3J. We'll put all of these else. So let's take a look at this. Let's explore this idea. So they want us to not get our space all mucky. Let's put this over here because we're on our final 2 pages. So we could take our Stampin' Spritzer, and they are definitely still using, okay, it's going over here. they used if you put rubbing alcohol would be a lot faster. Why don't we use rubbing alcohol? Let's explore. So I have rubbing alcohol. We could put a little in here, carefully away from your project. I didn't put much in. And then I'm going to spritz it. I can't quite take you with me, but I'll show you one quick what they mean. We'll do it on the smaller one because it's visually easier. See, it dries right away, and while it's wet, I would even do the back side. And then you crumple it up. You don't want to rip it, but you want to distress it a little bit. And while it's still functionally a little bit wet, we want to uncrumple it. And then we'll do that offline to eye. I'm going to do the back too. I'm almost out of... It dries pretty fast. You can use water too, but then it's going to take a half hour or more to dry. Okay. And 3K. I need to find 3K. Let's go back to the cutting instructions because now I'm not. $3K is 4 by 2.5. I don't remember. Okay, sorry, we're having a little lull in Projectville here. 4 by 2.5. Okay. Do I maybe have a hunk left over that is still over here? I'm not seeing that. Yep, here she is. I'm just going to go ahead and not wet this one because I'm out of rubbing alcohol. So for visual interest, this is something that you can do to your pages. Trust me, it'll dry the same. So we're going to move those out and we're just going to set them aside while we work on. So prepare for both pages. I only did the one side because that's what they recommended and that's what they looked like it here. Photos on that. Okay. Cut tree border sticker into 2 pieces. Okay, so we need to work on our stickers into 4 3/4 and 4 1/4. 4 3/4 and then 4 1/4. So there's a 4th. And then go to 9. Okay, and we'll have a little bit left over. We're going to lay that back down for a minute and 4 1/4. I'm just going to put it there for a minute because we're not ready to do that. So we've done that. And we're not going to worry about the photos. We'll do that later. Gotcha. So 3A. They're both the same, remember. So we'll bring in 3A. We'll just call this one 3A. It's Secret C, we've done it here. 3A and 3B we've done. And here the 4 3/4 sticker tree on this one, and they're not giving a measurement. We're going to go up, just create a little border. I'm probably off camera. I just stuck it down like that. I just gave it about an 1/8 inch border there. Okay, so that's, where are we? That is number 3, number 4, prepared 3C, prepared 3D, 3E, and 3F with dimensionals. So those are our remaining photo mats. We're not going to use dimensionals. Okay, but we are going to figure out 3D. (3F). I mean, you could write it on this side so you can see it because you're going to cover it up anyway. 3F. That was 3D. 3E and 3C are the same size. Okay, so we've got some funky, and why do I have one left? Probably because it goes on the other page. I better make sure. Why do we have some left? I better check my cutting instructions. So we want the 4 by 6 1/4. That's this one. That is just random extra. Yep, that's that extra. Okay, just double checking again. There will be better instructions at the end. Okay, so we're on step 4. We need to start marking and adding in all of these. So bring in our pencil and our ruler. 3C, it goes over 2 7/8 down by 1 inch. Let's put that inch mark. I could have a better pencil, couldn't I? And over 2 7/8. Okay. That is one of these, 3C or 3E. Let's go ahead and, now that we've marked it, whoops. And that will go in that corner, and it goes sideways. And I dropped my crappy pencil. And then we need to measure over 3 1/4. And we'll go down 1/4. We can eyeball that. Wouldn't you agree? Actually, that white line looks great. Can't see my pencil mark. There it is. For me, that looks good. And then we're going over the rest of these. You can kind of eyeball. If you're off a 1/16 of an inch. So we want to line this one up. So we're applying 3D. Like this. We're going to go over 1/4 of an inch. About like that. And then the next one will just kind of nest in there. like that. Score. Looks very good. Okay. And then let's go look at our list. We added those. We're not using dimensionals per the instructions. Embellish from the remaining pre-cut pieces. So for this one, we're going to need the 3 tree. And that is it. The rest of the pieces go in 3B page. So we're going to add some stuff, but we're probably going to need to do a little sticker work too. Okay, so we add in, oh, we do need these on this page. We're going to use these 2 little guys, and it's going to go on the back of our blue compass. See, this guy's just floating all over the place. I think we can anchor him. Yes, that'll work. We're gonna make our little compass guy. That takes up some of our sticky. That's okay. Somehow I got the wrong. That's okay. Wrong. This is project 3. Oh. So pay attention. You have 2 project 3 little guys. You want the one with the border, the boulder border. Okay. Like that. And that's gonna go, and we're gonna use, is there an arrow? Yep. Secret C arrow. It's gonna go on part of it. We're building our visual elements. We can, you know what? You could put this in whatever direction you want. You know what? I'm gonna put mine going west. Because I know what I'm doing was west from where we were. You could put your little compass marker anywhere you wanted, but I'm gonna go west. I'm actually gonna put that on the top because I know what I'm scrapbooking. And we need to use the road less traveled. So this kind of overlaps like this. And I'm going to put a little adhesive remover on that top so I don't go over, and it just kind of goes in this corner. I'm going to come down. Creative liberties here. Actually, I'm going to come over so it won't overlap my photo too much. Okay, and then we add our tree, and we can add our nature walk too. And again, I'm going to use my little de-sticker and put that over here. And then the rest of these we'll have to add when we add our photos, correct? Yep. I think my Stampin' Seal's getting tired. That's good. Okay. So we're going to add this over this. And probably way off camera, I added my little trees. So that, I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive underneath that. Because I de-stickied it so much. And then the rest of these stickers you would put on over your photos, or you can add them and not add them over your photos. That is a personal creative choice. So that's page 3A done for now. And then let's go to 3B. because we've got our papers, which are now dry. And I bet we have a bunch of measuring and stuff. Okay, that goes, looks like that goes later. This goes later. So we added our Secret C base, adhered 3G and 3H. Yep, we've done step 1, step 2, step 3. Prepare the 4 1/4 border tree, which we've already cut. And where does that go? That goes up here. No measurement, just kind of a creative liberty. Our Mossy Meadow tree border. And that's going to come in somewhere all the way. Somewhere like that. Right up to the edge. Press that down. Now we need to add in our, so we've done step 3, step 4, prepare 3I and 3J. Using dimensionals, we're not going to do that. And here, prepared 3K. So we're going to add these two and then this one. Let's take a look at our measurements. I prefer to work with my thing tilted to the side. 3I is bringing in our ruler for one last time, down 2 inches. And then in 1 inch. Okay, that's the big one. Let's go ahead and put some adhesive on the back of that. Mine is thoroughly dry by now. If you decided to follow the steps that I did and just stress it, then yours should be dry by now too. Okay, so we want to go there, up to there. Okay, push that down in a diagonal direction with that crumpled paper works better. So the next one is down 1 3/4, so it's offset a little bit. And a 1/4 inch over. Okay, put some adhesive on the back of that. You can put your 1/4 inch mark if you want. I find it's easier to just visually do it. Again, working the one corner to the other works best when you have crinkled paper. There we go. And then the final one is over 1 7/8 and up 3 inches. Okay, so and then in 1 7/8. So actually, maybe we can find a sticker to put over that. My older than old pencil. And that's gonna go, I see what they're doing now. Again, working the diagonal. It's a little bit crooked. I still have a few seconds to push that down. And actually with the grid on the paper, I love it when they use grid paper that's not quite grid paper, but it has some pattern on it. It really does make lining up so much easier. Okay, so we didn't do dimensionals, and I would not recommend dimensionals with your crinked up paper. Step 4, step 5, prepare 3K. We did that. Embellish, embellish, embellish. So we need this piece. And we're going to put a little adhesive on the back of it. And they have it so that the flowers go in the top left and lower right. and it just kind of centers over. Just kind of centers over that piece. There we go. And then we need to take and we need these two little pieces. Project 3 little flags. We'll need all of this. Actually, I think I'm going to do my tree now. I'm going to work from the bottom up. It looks like just bottom up. And no actual measurement. I don't want to put tape on. Yep, let's fill in that gap. And then the great outdoors. Okay. And that's going to just kind of wing it in here. Like that. Pretty. Mine's a little crooked. You know what? I'm okay with it. I don't want to muck up my project at this point. So now we need to finish off with a few stickers. So we need the outdoor fun sticker. And we're going to add in our little flags. Or I keep wanting to call it bashful blue. Balmy blue. And make a little flag out of that. And then they recommend overlapping your photo. I'm not. I do not want a chance. I'm just going to go ahead and just get it out of the way of the photo already. I'm just not. I want to get it done. And then taking the scenic route again, I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to go over here. I want to avoid my photo. Okay. Then we've got some other doodads, which are these two little pieces, which is this and documented. And then one of these. And then, yeah, I think we can put them down. Okay, I'm going to, because it'll be pretty safe from the photos. So we want to put a little leaf in the corner, kind of give a corner element. Want to put in our documented. Again, you can place this wherever you want. I'm actually going to go up here. And then your little kind of camo arrow. And I'm just going to kind of come over like that. That's how I did mine. And with that, look at how much stuff we can add later. Some of it's called for if you want to follow. Some of it is not. We are done. So add our journaling and our photos. Those are the last steps. And you know what? I will share a video of what I do, but I'm not going to record that. So let's take a look. Let's review. So we've got page 1A, 1B. Beautiful. Beautiful symmetry without being completely identical. 2A and 2B. Again. And then 3A and 3B. 3B we added in a little distressing. I kind of like it. And there you go. That is, and then the next step, of course, would be to add your journaling and your photos. And then your kit is done. And I really say, honestly, it takes, I've gone on enough scrapbook retreats to see how long a lot of these scrapbookers spend agonizing over what photos, how to lay it out, and all of it. And the cost. And again, I think these are a way to go. It is a great jumping off point. Then you can just add, you can continue similar layouts and continue that idea. I just spilled rubbing alcohol all over my workspace. Thankfully, I didn't hit much. But yeah, that is it for the exploring nature. And again, there'll be a part 4, I believe. This is what I'm thinking, when I added my photos. Again, you could, if you're making this ahead, you can go ahead and, I didn't show you that. Kind of self-explanatory a little bit, but I'll find some. You know, you can go ahead and add your placeholders. I would just put them on with one little glue dot. That's what I've done before. So you know what size, but the instructions also are very good about, on the front, telling you what size photos this plan works out for. So with that, I think we're going to bid you adieu. And I hope you've enjoyed this, learning how to do all this and how to read the instructions and all of that. Again, I will write up a better summary at the end. I think that would be best. Because it was a little bit, again, figuring out how to teach you is a little bit of a learning curve for me. And I will probably do another kit and with better written instructions. But in any case, thank you for joining me. This has been Sandy with Needs a Ribbon. I hope you've really enjoyed this beautiful kit. Truly. We'll see ya.